Hey, how's it going everyone? My name is Dr. Kyle Knox. I'm a sports chiropractor in Westlake Village, California. I have a practice here. It's very sports driven. I've traveled around the world and got to work with USA Water Polo. Been around the world and seeing these athletes play. It's amazing on how much demand they put on their bodies, and especially even the amateur to the youth athlete. We're here to talk about the mass suit. It's a tool that has an amazing ability to stimulate the core, call in more power for your sport, and it's just another way we can incorporate more training in a very specific way. This is one of my favorites. It's a shoulder protocol, mass shoulder we're going to call it. One thing about shoulder protocols is that when you're doing simple band work or static movements, you're activating one muscle group. You're focusing on that muscle group and you're wanting to activate and focus really good. That's great, but why not activate more of the core while you're working on that muscle group? So what we've done here is we have a band on the inside of the hands. He's doing simple wall walks back and forth in little clock motions. But we also have the red band going from the backside, which is while he's holding, he's activating serratus anterior. That is the muscle that locks in that shoulder blade so that he can get proper motion in the shoulder. So with the band and the mass suit, we're able to achieve multiple things at the same time. You cut down, your therapy session time, and you're getting a lot more activation of muscle, and he's activating his core, which is nice. If you're at the house and you don't have access to a beautiful gym, why not utilize a piece of equipment that you can achieve a lot more power? You can have a lot of functional movement with a load, and overall we can see a lot less injury because of the suit. We're going to talk a little bit about injury prevention. When we're talking about sports and where an athlete is in their specific time frame, you watch a lot of professional athletes, they'll go through their season and they have a maintenance. They're constantly maintaining, they have their recovery, then they get off season and they have their strengthening season. They want to rebuild for the next season. We see a lot of young athletes today epidemically getting injured, and it's a lot of repetitive stresses they're putting on their body without a lot of balance. They don't have somebody to do checks and balances just like a professional athlete. So the mass suit has been a great tool for me in my practice to really see imbalances and touch on those and be able to tell the athlete, look, you're in your stabilization phase, or what I call my stabilization phase, before we get into the strength and power endurance. You're not able to hold a position statically, and it really exposes that with the mass suit. It's a pretty amazing tool that way. So when I'm looking at an athlete and saying, do we need to move forward or do we need to step back a moment, it's nice to have a tool that allows you to make that judgment with a little bit more exposure. And I like to use that word exposure because you really are exposing a weakness. Just like the example I used earlier, we had somebody that had a hip weakness for water polo. They are having knee pain, and yes, they're having pain in the knee, but is it truly coming from that? No, it's coming from that hip. And when they put that mass suit on, you can see how the hip is activated and it goes right back into proper position. Now our goal from that is to take that education that we learned from that and stabilize the hip so they can get back without the mass suit. Again, it's another tool. It really helps us point out the insufficiencies in the movement, and so that we can help that athlete move forward, get more power, get more strength, and not break down. And that's the whole goal of it, is we want to take these young athletes, we want to empower them so they don't get injured and really find what that weakness is telling us.